Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles and on this episode we're Walking in Memphis. Topic of this Walking in Memphis, CWA Wrestling from February 5th, 1983. If you're wanting to watch the video that I reviewed for this, there'll be a link in the description. We rate everything on a 1 to 5 scale. 1 is the worst, 5 is the best. We go from commercial break to commercial break, basically segment to segment. With that being said, let's jump right into the show. We start off with an interview with Jimmy Hart and the Masked Marauder. Masked Marauder is talking about Sweet Brown Sugar, aka Coco Beware. This is a good interview. It was a nice way to set up something that happens later in the show. The Masked Marauder talks about not having but maybe 3 matches and he hasn't won any yet, and maybe Jimmy Hart would help him from here out. This is a fantastic segment. Jimmy Hart's absolutely amazing here. I'm giving this one a 5. Coming from break, we get Jesse Barr and Jim Cornette doing an interview. Jesse does all the talking, which is a little surprising. Even this early in Jim Cornette's career, he was a way better talker than Jesse Barr was. No knock on Jesse Barr. This leads us right into a match with Jesse Barr versus Dutch Mantell, where if either one does something illegal, they immediately lose the match. During the match, it's threatened a few times that both of them want to punch each other. The end comes when Barr spits on Dutch and Dutch starts throwing some punches. I thought this was a good piece of work here. I enjoy this. I kind of miss the days where you could get disqualified for a punch. I understand that it's not really feasible now, but this kind of story was the kind of thing you could tell with something as simple as that, where you could keep a feud going on who the better wrestler is, not the better fighter. I thought this was good. Jesse Barr picks up the win with a disqualification. I'm giving that all a 4. Next up, we have an interview with Jacques Rougeau. During the interview, Jacques shows highlights of him versus Terry Taylor, where he wins the AWA Southern Junior Heavyweight Championship. And going from that, we go right into a match with Bobby Fulton, a very young Bobby Fulton against Jacques Rougeau here. This is a solid match. Jacques picks up the win. Afterwards, he continues to attack Fulton, which brings out Terry Taylor. After that, Terry goes to the announce table, has a little back and forth with Jacques, does a promo. For all that, I thought that was all pretty good. I'm giving that a 4. Next up, we have the Sweet Brown Sugar versus the Masked Marauder. And this is where we're going to get the payoff from earlier. The Masked Marauder comes out like a house on fire, attacks early, gets the upper hand. During the match, Jimmy Hart gets involved. We see them take advantage of Sweet Brown Sugar. Jimmy Hart paints a yellow streak up his back, which is, this is the second time in the past few weeks that Jimmy Hart's got involved in a match and painted on a wrestler. I like this. Again, just some classic heel work here. It's revealed the Marauder takes off his mask and he's Bobby Eaton. After that, Sweet Brown Sugar goes to the announce table, cuts a promo. For all that, I thought it was rather good. I'm giving that a 4. Next up, we have the final match of the show, an 8-man tag match. We have Steve Keirn and Stan Lane, the Fabulous Ones, teaming up with Dutch Mantell and Bill Dundee, going up against the Destroyers, the Invader, and the Masked Marauder. And this is a different guy. This is an okay match, not much of anything. The face team, Keirn, Lane, Dutch, and Dundee, pick up the first fall. We go to a break. We're going to give that a 3. We come back from break. We get an interview with the Sheep Herders, who at the time are Luke Williams and Jonathan Boyd. That leads us into the second fall of that match. Keirn, Lane, Dutch Mantell, and Bill Dundee going up against the Destroyers, the Invader, and the Masked Marauder. The Fabulous Ones team picks up the win again. Again, not much of anything really. I'm going to give it a 3 again. I thought it was good, not great. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good show. Lost a little bit of steam towards the end of it. I kind of wish they would have done the Sweet Brown Sugar versus Masked Marauder angle at the end. It feels like a bigger angle. Or even the Jesse Barr Dutch Mantell thing at the end. It feels like a bigger angle to go off the show with. But that being said, I do still think this is a pretty good show. Overall, I'm going to give it a 4. I thought it was enjoyable. I definitely recommend watching it. That being said, let's smash that like button, share the video, subscribe if you haven't. And if you made it to the end, let's put the Mountie in the comments for Jacques Rougeau. My name is George Coles, and we've been Walking in Memphis.